Awesome, man. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. Easy question, man. Walk me through the journey back to the Rangers, because clearly you left the team and then we're kind of in limbo in 2025, and now you're back here. Just talk to me how that all started and what brought you home.
Yeah, so Skip Schumacher and I have always had a good relationship. He was my first base coach in San Diego, so we'd always keep in touch. Him and I kind of hit it off as a player-coach relationship. So it was funny. It was probably October-ish, and I just finished working out, and in my mind, I was kind of unsure of what to do. I spent, I think my last game was July 8th of 2025, so knew I was getting older, knew the interest was dying down, and I was just praying kind of every night, God, give me a crystal clear sign. Am I going to keep playing, or is it time for phase two, whatever phase two is, right? So praying the whole offseason, praying since July, what's going to happen, and I just finished working out one day as this, I'm still playing, right? So pull into my driveway, and I get a call from Skip, and I'm like, hey, Skip, what's going on? He said, hey, would you have any interest in coaching? It's like, well, yeah, it's something I always thought I'd be good at. People have always said with the relationships I've built in clubhouses, it'd be a great second avenue for you. I was like, why? He said, well, I want you to, maybe interview for a job as, the Rangers' first base coach. I said, well, shoot, Skip, 10 minutes ago I was just working out like I was playing. Can I get some time to think about it, talk to my agent a little bit? I said, when would you like to start, the interview process? He said, tomorrow. I said, okay. I said, well, let me go talk to my wife first, see how she feels about it. Let me call my agent, see what the interest will be like. And after talking with my agent, he said, it's your choice. He said, it's going to be probably a minor league invite in 2026. You're going to have to make a team. And if you do, you might be a stopgap and be on 3 or 4 different teams throughout the year. He said, I will never tell you what to do. It's your career. He said, but if you want to get into coaching, it's a pretty good opportunity for you. So,
what have you felt about the job in the last couple of months since kind of signing on? Do you feel the relationship between being a player and then turning into a coach, is it an easy turn?
It's been a pretty smooth transition. I think a lot of that is, one, having a great staff and a great front office, having familiarity with them, and also having a comfort level with the guys. I haven't played with everyone in that clubhouse, but probably 70% of the guys I've played with. So to me, coaching's all about relationships, right? And I have those built-in relationships with the players already. So it really is a big comfort level for me, and I think that goes a long way as to why I'm really enjoying it.
What is it about the North Texas area that probably gave you a little bit of a sell, including, hey, I get a chance to coach? Because obviously you're really well liked here.
To me, Texas feels a lot like my home in Pennsylvania. It's obviously the Dallas-Fort Worth area is a lot bigger than Lancaster, Pennsylvania. But, the years I played here, we had a yard, we had a pool in the backyard. It felt like home. My kids loved it, my wife loved it. There's never any traffic after the game, so that's a huge plus. And I can say hands down, Texas for the 2 years I was here was my favorite of all 8 organizations I've been in. It's a professional organization. They care about the human being more than the stat line, and it's the same way coaching. The front office cares about me as a person rather than me as a coach, and they're trying to evolve me as a coach while making the character of myself, be regarded as, very important.
Have you snuck onto social media at all to see what the fans' reaction was, when they found out that you were going to be the first base coach?
I have not. No, I try and stay off social media. When I was playing social media, there were some good days, but there were a lot of bad days on social media, so I try not to look too much into social media.
Well, I'll tell you, it's pretty much an overwhelming love that you're coming back, and I feel like that's because of just who you were on the World Series team and the role that you played. How do you go into this job knowing that you have that big banner out there, on the field, and you were part of that?
It feels great coming into the job, but I don't think being content with just one is where I'm at. Now on the coaching side, it's almost like, well, I did it as a player, let's do it as a coach now. So there's a drive to get another banner for everyone in this clubhouse, for everyone in the front office, and for the Dallas-Fort Worth area. We want another one, so we're going to do everything we can to get that second banner up there.
We kind of counted before you were in here. We counted at least 8 guys who were on the team that I think are still within the organization or at least playing. And you would be added to that as a coach. But it was a lot more last season and the season before that. What do you feel like when you kind of look around and you see that some of those guys are gone? and you kind of also knew what made that team special. And you're kind of still sticking around to have that little rub off, I think, on the new guys.
Yeah, I think having a core group of guys who have been there before is important, especially because we plan on doing it again. So to have people who have been in that situation before, for the guys who haven't been, to kind of lean on. In 23, I was leaning on Seager, right? I wasn't playing a lot in the postseason, but I was picking his brain, leading up to it. Hey, Siegs, what to expect? What's it going to look like? And he was pretty much spot on with his analysis of it. And I think just having those 8 guys in here, I wish it was more, but obviously the game of baseball is year by year. It's really hard to keep a team like that together. But the group we have in here right now has similar vibes. I think everyone in that clubhouse is playing together as a unit. I think the intangibles, as far as the character, the chemistry on the team, is high. So when you get to the postseason, it's everyone's good, right? What's the outlier? What are you going to do to be better than the other teams that are in there? And to me, it's the intangibles. How much do you want to win, and how much do you love each other and go out there and compete?
So you see some similarities.
Absolutely.
From the 2023 team and kind of what you're involved in now.
Absolutely.
Wow. So, kind of looking back at those years, there's like a lot of great memories that I think you had here. Just, your moment where you stepped up for Adolis in the playoffs. You obviously have the big catch in left field when you robbed that home run. Do you get a sense of that you kind of, and you're also really recognizable because of your hair. Do you feel like that you get a sense of that everyone here is kind of like, that's Jank, that's the guy, he's been around?
I think it's the hair. I think that gives it away. That's what the fans love. But no, I mean the World Series, being able to step up in that moment, what excites me the most about that, what I take pride in, is that it wasn't just going out and playing and saying, oh man, let's see what happens. It was prepping for that moment since, we got into the postseason, knowing if nobody gets hurt, I'm probably not going to play, right? Mm-hmm. But I still went about my business the right way, did everything I could just in case something happened, Unfortunately and fortunately, something did happen, to Adolis. He got hurt.
Yeah.
But if it wasn't for, the prep work and then the belief from the coaching staff and the 25 other guys in that clubhouse to let me know, hey man, this is you, this is your time, and you're going to pick up right where Adolis left off. The reason I succeeded is because they believed in me. Yeah. When you have 25 guys and 15 coaches and 20 front office members believe in you, you have no choice but to believe in yourself. So it's really a testament, again, to that group in 23 that we had and the chemistry we had. And it's a special unit.
At first base, have you kind of gotten used to the new coaching position and just kind of the ins and outs of it all?
Yep. The first day I told Skip the game sped up on me. It hasn't sped up on me like that since I was playing. Everything was happening quick, so it definitely slowed down. It's crazy because I still get nerves. I'm not playing, right? I'm not out there trying to hit a 98-mile-per-hour fastball or get a game-winning hit. But the nerves are still real. The butterflies are still real. So I think that's a good thing. It means I care, right? Mm-hmm. But it's, I thought as a coach, you'd just be able to sit back and say, all right, I'm giving you the information, go and do it. But it's a lot more nerve-wracking than I thought. So.
You're getting me excited for Thursday, just talking about it. I think the one thing, the last question I'll ask here is, are you going to cut your hair? I know that's a joke question to ask. But also, are you going to still wear 16? I know that sometimes managers wear numbers, or at least coaches wear numbers, sometimes they don't.
Yep, so I'll only cut my hair if they make me cut my hair. So I'll keep it trimmed up, make it look a little more professional. I don't think it'll be down, past the collar too long. And then 16, no, 16, to me as a coach, you give good numbers, right? Lower numbers to players. That's their right, they deserve that. Nobody is going to be looking at, what number is the first base or third base coach wearing? So we get the scraps. What I did decide was I added up all of my kids, my wife, and my birthday, the date we were born on, it added up to 96. So I said 96 seems like a pretty good number that I don't think too many players will want. So decided on 96 this year.
And that's what it's about.
Yep.
It's about everybody who you're playing for, or at least coaching for at this point.
Exactly. Yeah, I think the benefit of going right from, playing last year to coaching this year is obviously the game is still fresh, right? I think that the longer coaches are out of the game, the harder it is for them to realize how hard the game is.
Yeah.
The level of difficulty in my head is still much appreciated. I know how hard it is to go out there and hit. I know how hard it is to go out and play in front of 40,000 people. So that, I think, is a good way for me to, I guess, put my perspective on things in the coach's room. You know, I've always been a positive guy. You know, we have a very positive coaching staff here, but I think kind of someone coming fresh out of the game who that feel of going 0 for 4 or being in a slump is still real. You know, it's still fresh in my mind. I think that definitely helps just to relate to the players a little bit and give a different perspective to the coaches. It's high paced. You know, once guys get on base, I got about 6 seconds to tell them information on the pitcher, on, you know, the outfield, how many outs there are, game situation, you know, what we're thinking about at first base. So it goes quick. There was an adjustment period for me. I feel pretty confident with it now. And also, I'm lucky to have Rag still on the staff. You know, he was a first base coach here for 6 years, so I've been picking his brain a lot on what's the best way to kind of break information down and relay it to the players. And also, I've asked Skip a few times. Like I said, Skip was my first base coach in San Diego, so he's been through it. So I got 2 really good guys to lean on, and you know, honestly, the whole coaching staff here, they're awesome to lean on. So I got some good mentors in that clubhouse.
I do want to show you something. I don't know if you ended up seeing it, but I brought it it's on my Instagram, but I wanted to show it to you just in case. But do you remember the last time we interviewed together?
I do not.
Okay, so it was opening day 2024, and essentially we were doing a story about what, you know, jersey you should pick, if any, because it was the gold jersey that was coming out. And so everybody in the newsroom was like, you should get everyone's thoughts, but pick a person that may not be like your immediate choice. And do you remember what happened that night?
I remember because it only happened 11 times in my career.
I wanted to see if you could give us your live reaction to this.
The Rangers, they're sporting new threads on the field tonight, and they're trimmed with gold. I got to get one by the end of the game, but which player do I get?
Opening day, baby! I don't like Cubs fans. I don't like Astros fans. Yeah. I don't like anybody that's not a Rangers fan. Yeah. Go Rangers! Woo!
Woo! Woo! I got to get a jersey by the end of the day. Which one should I get? Which jersey should I get?
Corey Seager.
Yeah. Corey Seager?
The MVP!
Yeah. Corey Seager's a good choice. You got any suggestions?
I was going to say the same thing because we were both at game 1.
Seager or Garcia?
El Bombi!
I know nothing about baseball.
What?
Let's see what the players have to say. Which jersey should I buy?
Oh, see, that's a hard one. There's a lot of good candidates.
I mean, the easy answer is always to get the MVP, and that's Corey Seager.
El Blondie, have you read about that?
I've heard El Blondie. And I like it.
It's not to look like a guitarist from Seattle, the long hair.
No, it's just I got a really small head.
What do you condition with?
I use whatever my wife gives me.
Get a Dulce's jersey.
Are you a Skinnerd fan by chance?
I am not, no.
You look like you could be in the band.
I like Freebird and Simple Man, but that's about all I know.
El Bombi Garcia!
Garcia! Can you roll yours?
Garcia!
I look ridiculous in this.
No, man. Get Evan Carter. He'll be here for a long time.
How many pile drivers have you taken in your life?
12.
If someone steals a jersey, what do?
I tackle him.
Elbow to the throat?
Right, there you go.
Crush their windpipe. What about Travis Jankowski?
It's not a bad name.
Yeah? Yeah, El Blondie?
I'll still go Corey Seager.
You don't want me to buy a Jankowski jersey?
No.
A selfless and modest
use
man.
Your money in a better way.
Oh, what?
Matthew,
God?
you know what you must do.
You have great hair.
Thanks.
It's a look-alike right there. Are you kidding me?
Have you ever seen that before?
I've never seen that. That is awesome, dude.
I sent it to your wife on Instagram because I didn't know if you were on social media as much.
Yeah.
I don't even think she saw it.
That's hysterical.
But that started out that day. We were planning on getting your jersey, and I bought a wig at a costume shop. And I was like, because it'll be, kind of like a funny thing. Everyone says, get the name brand guys or whatever, the people that are marquee. And they were like, get the guy who propelled us to a playoff, a World Series win. And then that day, I remember I was at your locker, and then you hit the home run. And I was like, dude, this story couldn't have written itself any better.
We should have talked more. Every time we talk, I hit a homer. We should have talked more.
Maybe now it's, we're getting some good luck for the season. I don't know.
Wear that wig again opening day, and let's see what happens.
All right, sounds good. Perfect, man.